What's up, people? Welcome to this episode of the By the Hood podcast or webcast because I don't know how you consume this content. I'm your host as always. My name is Jimmy, man. My Flyers hat on. Shout out to the Flyers. Not that I'm a hockey fan, but orange and black. Anyway, with that being said, man, I got my partner in crime with me, Corey, man. Corey, it's really good.
Man, it was really good, man. I'm alive. Nothing, no crazy physical ailments. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm
man.
black. I'm black. I'm proud. You know what I mean? Like everything good, man.
All right, man. Let's get it popping, man. Let's not even waste no folks' time, man, because we got something to talk about today, man. Episode 234. Charles Barkley, Shaquille O'Neal. One of those. Walter Payton. Episode 200 of Walter Payton. Shout out to Walter Payton. All the 34s out there. Yo, with that being said, though, today's episode is about financial infidelity. Yes, that is a thing. Financial infidelity. I'm gonna read an article that adds little context to this conversation. As always, if you're listening to the audio, don't worry, I will read enough for you to get the context of this conversation. If you're watching on video, you will be able to see the article. I will leave a link to this article in the show notes as well as the description. By the way, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, do all the YouTubey stuff. If you listen to audio, leave us 5 stars. Spotify, Apple. I would say Google, but Google's rebranding their podcast. They're putting everything under YouTube, so it's probably YouTube podcast at this point. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, with all that being said, or I listen to podcasts on Pocket Cast. That's just my personal thing, and I am a huge podcast fan.
Isn't that a Google product?
No, Pocket Cast is independent. I got it on all my devices.
Okay.
Like so, it's his own thing, but I just feel like they have the best interface. So I use 2 podcast channels. I use that.
No, you put me onto Pocket Cast, but I didn't know whether it was just a Google.
Yeah, I use Pocket Cast and I also use Fountain. Shout out to Fountain too, because Fountain
pays you.
Yeah, they pay you in sats. You'll learn more about that on the Monday show. Stack Sats or Die Trying, by the way. Shout out to that. That show's been doing pretty well. A lot of great feedback on Stack Sats or Die Trying. We will be back this Friday. If we missed this past Friday because we had a live event, you know what I'm saying? I was, teaching the truth to the young black youth, but we will be back this Friday on Friday Live. So, but let's get into this topic though, man. Financial infidelity, man. And this is an article from MoneyWise, right? So the title of the article says, "I'm contemplating bankruptcy. This Florida woman had $500,000 in the bank, a mortgage-free home, and no debt. Now she's totally broke, all because of her husband's financial infidelity." That's insanity right there. All right, so it says that, and by the way, this article is written by Sabina Wex. Sabina, shout out to Sabina. It says, Warren Buffett once said, "The most important decision you can make is who you choose to marry." In Kyle, I'm going to make sure I pronounce her name right. In Kyle Redboleto's case, Kyle Redboleto. Anyway, in Kyle Redboleto's case, we're just going to call him Kyle. This couldn't be more true. This 41-year-old Florida woman, she went on TikTok and detailed how her husband completely decimated their savings. She said she had everything in 2021. She had a mortgage-free home, $500,000 in the bank, 0 credit card debt, and now it's all gone. I'm contemplating bankruptcy, she revealed. All right, so I'm going to pause here for a second. I want to make sure people understand. She had
no mortgage
off house, $500,000 liquid in the bank, and no card debt. No credit card debt. Now, she said she did a follow-up video on TikTok. She said that she's in this situation because her husband spent all their money, and he not only ticked her off, but the feds as well. She said her ex was described by authorities as a con artist and had been arrested for financial crimes. So her situation is a severe case, but the article says financial infidelity isn't all that uncommon. Nearly half of people in relationships admitted to financial deceit, including hiding outstanding credit card balances and expensive purchases, right? So they're saying that financial infidelity is a real thing. Part of this is her husband was out here gambling on cryptocurrency. And he was taking her money to do so. And by the way, for those who think she just got conned, he played the long game. They were together for a long period of time. So the Fed saying that just the relationships will just be out of control in general. So let me see. So one of the problems they said she did was she let her husband take complete control of the finances. It's the assumption that he was paying the credit card bills, but he never paid them at all. And several names were on the card. She said they never had a joint account until 2022. And that was 11 years after they got married. So 11 years before he started acting a fool. There was almost no financial transparency in their relationship, right? So no transparency. So I'm reading these things out. I'm slowing down on a couple things on purpose because these are excellent points. She assumed he would pay the bills. There was no financial transparency in the relationship one way or the other. So there was a lack of this around money. And this is a married couple, by the way. And the article says that may be a sign of financial infidelity. So what they found through a survey is that 48% of respondents uncovered a surprise when they started sharing one or more bank accounts with their partner. Some found good news, but a lot found frivolous spending habits and bad credit scores. So it's a lot here, bro. This is someone who figured out they probably were going to retire in a certain period of time. They thought that everything the way they should have it. I will share this article, but the gist of the article is this woman had $500,000 in liquid cash, a paid off crib. She was married to a gentleman for 11 years before he started taking control of the finances. And when he did so, she made nothing was paying the bills, nothing to worry about here. Until it was too late. He ran through all the money, crypto, and now she's going to be forced to file bankruptcy. Interestingly enough, the article didn't mention whether, and I didn't watch her TikTok videos. I'll probably only do that tonight. Didn't mention where their marriage stands. But that's not the point of this specific episode. What I want to talk about is the idea, just the idea and the concept of financial infidelity. So for those that are watching our show, right, what we talk about for the most part is black wealth, personal finance, right? And as a, there are things you have to deal with. One being financial infidelity. So, Corey, thoughts on the article overall? Getting specifics.
Dude is you gotta be like a real POS to be with somebody that long, and then break them. Damn, what kind of you walked into an airtight situation and bust the bubble in an airtight situation. You had no debt, no credit card debt, a paid off credit, and now you're looking over your shoulder every day because the man tapping you on your shoulder looking for his money back, and the Fed is on your behind. What is wrong with you? Listen, man. We did an article a few weeks ago about a boy who took the whole family finances and gambled that joint away on DraftKings or something like that. I think it's kind of emblematic of the microwave society we live in. People just living fast and hard, and people just they're not thinking about their older selves at all. Because most people don't think they're gonna get old because of the way things are structured. So they want everything now.
I also think dude must have got addicted to trading or whatever, messing whatever he was messing with, man. I think that's something that we talked about on our Friday show. We talked about the sports gambling and how crazy that is, even considering I do it myself. But that's either here nor there. But we talked about how crazy it is. But when you look at the last couple of years, and I think this is I'm gonna look up and see if anybody's done any studies on this. But when I think about the whole GameStop saga and what happened in the pandemic with Robinhood and people doing all this type of things, I think something was let out in the universe, and it's difficult to kind of put back, where people are trying to get, they already have a lottery ticket mentality, but now they're trying to hit huge licks, right? The idea of building something over time, getting rich slowly, is kind of out the window. And the reason I say that is because I'm online every day, and when people are talking about stuff like just saving or 401ks and stuff like that, people are no, that's too slow. And then you see articles like this where a guy who was married for 11 years out of the blue starts, gambling in the crypto markets and ruins his, wife's nest egg that she built up, right? But then I see left and right, these kids going crazy with sports betting. They still are doing, Wall Street bets and all that kind of stuff. There's something that's been let out that I don't even know how it goes back in. Outside of like some of these folks as drug addicts, but that's either here nor there. That's a whole different story. But
addiction takes many forms, right? We all have addiction. We just have to figure out what we're addicted to, right? Some people are addicted to social media. Some people are addicted to sugar. Some people are addicted to carbohydrates. Some people are addicted to sports betting and gambling. Like
people addicted to all kinds. Some people addicted to X and XX. Some people addicted to,
Whoa! What is that?
No,
what is that?
That's an addiction, though. That is an addiction. But here's the point, though, bro. I think that's part of it. But the other part that's interesting to me is the idea of financial infidelity, right? My wife once told me one time, she was like, yo, we can get over all kinds of stuff that'll happen in our marriage. But the one thing we didn't get over is you messed this bread up. And she said it jokingly, but I think she was kind of serious.
No, she's not joking at all.
She told me, she said, listen, I'd rather find out you've been with another woman before I find out you messed this chicken up. And she, said it jokingly, but I actually believe it, right?
He's not gonna put up with either one, but I can tell you which one. Yeah. I can tell you which one she'll put up with first.
But here's my point in saying that, though. And we already talk about, and we've heard in the past, I should say, that like most divorces or most relationships break up because of finances, right?
Yep.
It's not even the other things that you would think are breaking up relationships. But even though you trust someone, as they say, man, trust in a lie, but still tie up your camel, man. Like she just went like, yo, he got it, right?
You've been with somebody 11 years, you would think that you know their habits. And then, and listen,
I'm not trying to blame the victim, right?
But listen, she built all of that with him, right? So what would make her think, that all of that isn't, isn't the same?
Here's what I'm leading to, bro. And it could be me because I'm someone who's into finances and I'm a kind of a finance nerd, so to speak. I check my stuff religiously, right? Even stuff that my wife's responsible for. I just like to, honestly, it's really because I don't trust the system. And here's what I mean by that. I'm constantly checking credit card balances, brokerage balances. It really has nothing to do with her or anything like that. It's because I don't trust the system. I want to make sure.
Making sure they're not nickel and diming you or taking something that they ain't supposed to take.
It's hard for me to comprehend someone just not paying attention to their accounts. That, I remember one time we did a Friday show and we asked folks, like, how often do you check your brokerage, your investments, and it was answers all over the place.
Every day.
Yeah, some folks was like, yo, once every hour. But then some folks was like, I'm lackadaisical, maybe every couple months. Like, so I think that's the first question I want to pose to the audience out there.
I have accounts that I don't check very often, and all of them are crypto accounts.
But all right. So that's I've actually heard that before. People like to come back to them every once in a while to see what it's done. But I guess the question I have is for your main accounts, the accounts you pay your bills out of, your credit cards, things like that.
Every day.
That's the question I have for the audience. For the audience out there, leave it in the comments. How often do you check your accounts? That's the first question. The second question is, let me ask you this question, Corey. I just thought about this in this conversation. Let me flip this on you. Not that you would put up with either one, but which one would hurt your marriage?
Physical.
More than the money?
Listen. If you do physical infidelity, I'll probably break up with you. But if you do financial infidelity, I'm going to break up with you. There's no.
So it's not physical. So the worst one is financial.
Yes. Like if you do physical infidelity, you want to be with somebody else, great. But don't mess up my chicken. Like
I'm not. And by the way, I'm not trying to turn this into one of relationship podcasts.
No, this is not it. But I will say to you,
question.
If you, the thing is, so I'm not one of them people, and you know me very well. I don't think about money very often at all.
Yeah.
But if you purposely break down my chicken and mess up my egg, man, listen, I might have to, we're gonna have to go to some kind of counseling.
Whoa there.
I might have to go to some kind of counseling. No, I wasn't talking about that physical. I said I might have to go to some kind of counseling for the breakdown of my head.
I thought you was about to start hitting that one of them what we call in the hood we call them mainline divorces. Them dudes
no, we're not doing no mainline divorces.
On the main
Bro,
line, they don't believe in signing documents, dog.
the way I believe money works is that energy, the energy you put out is the energy you get back. So I'm gonna get it all back. But I'm gonna be more pissed that you blew my money than you blew some stranger. Like if you blow a stranger, I'm gonna be mad.
That should be the title of the video: blowing a stranger or blowing the money. Which one's worse? But seriously though, all jokes aside, the real question I have for the audience out there: which not saying that anyone is right, because none of this is right, but I want to know which one would make you like, which one would harm your relationship more if you are in a relationship, if you're married or something like that. Would it be physical infidelity or financial infidelity? Like, how serious is financial infidelity?
Right. Let me tell you what my wife told me, and this is something that she told me. We've been married 13 years, and we've been together for 20.
Mm-hmm.
And like 3 months in, she was like, "Listen, I can deal with a lot of things, but I cannot deal with you giving another woman money. I can't deal with that." Flat out just told me. So that ended a lot of my strip club outings. That ended my days at the strip club. So like I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of things she just flat out told me though. Like, look, like, dog, like, don't blow the money doing that. Do something else. You know what I mean? Like, and I got a lot of bad habits because, again, I grew up in a culture where bad habits were celebrated, like gambling and all that kind of crazy stuff. So I still got those habits. But what I don't do is I don't blow no bags on nothing. Like, it's all, any money that I put into anything that's remotely a gamble is money that is my money that I put to the side for whatever I want to do. You know what I mean? Like, so instead of me going to Vegas, I might go into the depths of crypto hell and spend $500 in crypto hell somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, so I still got those kind of habits. You know what I mean? So
understood.
But that $500 was set to the side for me to do whatever I feel like doing with it. So I might not want to travel with it. I might want to, whatever it was, I set it to the side for that, for whatever, you know what I mean? So I never lose money. I never lose more than whatever is set to the side to that.
So I guess just bring it back to the article and all that. You said that financial infidelity will harm your relationship more than physical.
Instantly.
Which is interesting. I would love to hear how the audience feels about that. The next thing I just want to ask you before we get out of here is about even if you trust like your spouse, are there things you do just to make sure that y'all boat is still moving forward? Like, do you check joint accounts, or do you feel like we pay
our bills out of a joint account? That's the only account I check for that we had.
Okay.
So, all our money goes to the joint account. We take out what we're supposed to take out, and then I just check to make sure that I check that all the time, like you say, not because I don't trust her, but because I don't trust, like, I don't want the electric company double dipping, or the water company, or the credit card people. I got to make sure that they not double and triple dipping in my account. And these banks not for nothing. These banks help them. So I'll be on they top hard, because I'm not playing that game with my money. Like, I need all my chicken, because all that chicken is already taxed 4 and 5 times before it even hit my account. And that's with businesses and everything, because everything is taxed.
Let me ask you this question real quick.
Transactions is taxed. Yes.
You talked about how long y'all been in a relationship. How soon did you guys start having financial conversations?
I started having financial conversations from day one.
Literally day one.
Literally day one. Because I don't like no surprise. Like, I'm not a surprise person. Don't surprise me with no crazy financial news. I don't want to know. Like, I don't want to know. I want to know now.
I was talking to Kumari, right? Shout out to our brother, the finance rebel. And he was telling me he tells people, before you marry someone, check their tax return. I was like, damn, I ain't never heard nothing like that because no one ever asked me before in my life.
Well, yeah. I mean, we got together in March, and when I filed my taxes that next February or March or whatever, she was right there when I did it.
All right, here's a question. Let me phrase it this way, and I would love to hear people's thoughts on this too. So you have a young son that's coming into adulthood. He's in college now.
Yep.
When he gets a serious relationship where there may be marriage or whatever, are you going to counsel him to check her credit report and tax return? Like, what do you tell him to do? And also for the folks out there, like,
no,
at what point too invasive?
No. What I'm gonna counsel him to do is control your money. You don't got no control over that woman's money until y'all have control. Y'all have joint control of everything. You know what I mean? So control what you can control, which is your money. That is the counseling that I give my son. You know what I mean? And if you see that she's bad with money, that's not a permanent relationship. You can see, like,
I guess the question is,
people's financial habits be on Front Street. Like, you don't have to look very hard to see what people's financial habits are. Like, people's financial habits be on Front Street. Like,
that's a good point.
If they got expensive jewelry and they pay $400 for a weave and all of that stuff, they got either they married to somebody who got money, they got money, or they really bad with money. Those are your three choices. You got money, you're married into money, or you know what I mean, you bad with money. Those are your three choices when you see somebody with all kinds of gaudy stuff. You know what I mean? Like, if they care more about,
what's funny about that?
What?
What's funny about that is I actually thought about that reading the article. Behind of this, like, did it pop up out of nowhere? I know they said that after 11 years he started acting crazy, but I'm like, there had to be a sign in those 11 years.
There had to be some signs. Yeah, people put their financial habits.
I'm not trying to think.
Listen, man, I always.
All right, man. So that's
the people I love this article though, because it has a lot of interesting pieces to it.
Yeah, man, we could talk about this a lot of different ways. We probably talk a little bit more about this on Friday, on our Friday live show. But for this episode, man, I just want to bring this article to the forefront and have a conversation with you. Get some feedback from everybody on YouTube, man. Leave us some comments. Even if you're watching this on Facebook, leave some comments. If you're listening to the audio, hit us up on social. Let us know what you think about financial infidelity. Also, financial infidelity versus physical. Which one is more harmful to your relationship? And again, not justifying any of them. But I would like to say this is an interesting conversation. It's something that has to be talked about. Like, when you're going into a relationship with someone long term, how do y'all deal with finances? That's very important, man. So leave us some feedback, some comments, man. Any last words for the people, Core?
Just be better to each other than you was yesterday. Like, if you're a POS, be less of a POS. You know what I mean? Get 1% better.
Also, man, shout out and love to everybody that supports us. I was laughing when we first came on, and I didn't get my normal shout out, but we love everybody that supports us. Thank you so much. We'll see you on our next episode of this podcast next Wednesday. Stack Sats and Dot Trying Monday, Friday live. But as we always say, it's not about how much money you make, it's about how much you keep. Game elevates, and we'll see you guys on our next episode. Peace.